Welcome, citizen. I am your host, Vinorati, and in this cast today, we are going to be continuing the Zotac Cup number 30 coverage of the actual final matchup of the entire tournament. So we have Lalush spawning as a Zerg, which he always does, and we have Goody spawning as a Terran. I did notice, though, that Goody, I think Goody likes that color purple. And I believe he's been purple every single matchup. I don't know right off the top of my head, but we are on Scrap Station. And Goody kept himself alive in the last matchup on Lost Temple. He was able to best our buddy Lalush over here with Banshees. Lalush was caught off guard, completely wrong-footed, and was not able to respond in any sort of manner that was effective. And we saw him tap out as Goody was able to kill. I think one of the Banshees had like 22 kills or something like that. I mean, she just swept house. It was awesome. I wish every one of my Banshees would kill that many units every single time. But unfortunately, that is not the case. But here on Scrap Station, things are going to be a little bit different. Why are they going to be a little bit different? Well, Scrap Station is a relatively unique map. The only other map that I really feel that's like it would be Desert Oasis. Well, I'd say the only map, one of the major maps that you see in the tournament series. But and because there's such a long rush distance, so you don't really see generic rushing like that. You see warp gates, you see drops, you see proxy bases, or you see a lot of air. And that's what we're going to be focused on right here, is the fact that you see air with this tiny gap. Instead of having to go all the way around, the air is able to just kind of go, hey, what's up, and start raining hell down on your foe. But the unfortunate side effect of air is it takes a lot to get there, tech-wise. So if you rush air and it doesn't work, you can really be in a bad position, because then you'll have the enemy knocking on your front door most of the time. You'll see Zerglings or Roaches in this particular matchup if Goody's Banshees didn't work, or Vikings, or whatever it was that he used to get over there. So right now, though, focusing on what is and not what if, we have Goody popping out a Marine so as to keep any pesky drones from running around and taking these Vespine geysers. But actually, Goody, being a pesky little bastard himself, putting down the engineering bay right here. This is pretty common stuff. His engineering bay is super cheap, easy to get, and is a pain to kill. It's got 850 freaking hit points. So either way, Goody putting that down there, denying Lalush that 14 hatch or 15 hatch or whatever it is that he wherever he wanted to put it down. Goody said, no, you have to do it on my terms. So we will see Goody end up canceling it, I'm sure, at some point. And yes, there we go. Goody does end up canceling it there. Goody, meanwhile, walling off his front door, making sure that none of those Zerglings will be able to get up in there very easily. And we do have both refineries occupied, so I am smelling tech. Otherwise, you wouldn't need both refineries this soon, as actually he's had those refineries for quite some time. And what do we have going on here right now over at Lalush's side? Lalush, though, only going off of one Vespine Geyser, will actually have the hatchery coming down here. So Lalush feeling comfortable in the distance that he can get the natural without being harassed too terribly much. And we do see him grabbing that other Vespine Geyser and grabbing a second queen. Good call, responding to the to that loss that we saw him suffer earlier in Lost Temple, grabbing it before he got the lair tech. Because if you have Banshees screaming over here, and you're in the middle of building your lair, and you've only got one queen, well, you're SOL, buddy, because you either got to cancel the lair tech, which is going to set you back, or you've got to sit there and eat it, which is not acceptable. So either way, it's an unfortunate predicament to be in. And we have Goody throwing down two starports simultaneously, so Goody going to be going big with the air. And yes, we do see a tech lab for the first one, and we do see a tech lab coming down for the second one, so Goody gonna be betting he's either be going for Banshees or Ravens. Most likely Banshees, as Ravens are very Vespine heavy. Yes, they are 100, 200, as the Banshees are only 150, 100. So right now, what do we got going on here? We do have actually some Hellion harassment going on here. Did not actually see him there as he was hiding in that gas right there, but we had the two queens in here, not happy about what's going on. We had all those drones lined up there. If he was able to get a second shot off, he would have been able to toast and roast those drones, but Lalush doing a good job of splitting up those drones. Almost getting that one. Yes, we do actually see that one drone going down here. And there we go. That one Hellion was actually taken out by this queen. Wait, no. Did that drone get that kill? Wait, who got that kill? No, okay, someone got that kill. Oh, here we go. That one circling had that kill. So, I thought that drone got that kill. And that was going to be pretty baller, because that drone definitely deserved a medal for that. Meanwhile, GoOdy has his one Banshee. It looks like he's going to be waiting for the second one. At least, I personally like to go with 3. Because 3, you don't generally see enough queens on the field to deal with it. And it's just there at that time where you're not going to see any area units. As we actually see the Hydralisk den just finishing up there. So we do actually see 2 Hydralisks being queued up here. Meanwhile, the Banshees have made contact with the mineral line. We do see them pinging on those drones right there. How many kills do we have? 4 kills so far. And we do actually see the Queens really not happy about the situation, but they are not microing the Banshees down themselves. But we do see Transfusion going down there, keeping each other alive, helping a brother out, really, because who wants to sit there and watch your buddy get split in half by Banshee missiles? What do they call those missiles? Backlash rockets. So, yes, we don't want to see our buddies killed by backlash rockets. Meanwhile, though, GoOdy is continuing the production of his Air Force and actually snagging an armory. So we're either going to be seeing vehicle upgrades or Thors. We did see Thors coming out there last time for GoOdy and Lost Temple, as Thors are excelente at killing those nasty Mutalisks. So right now we do have the Banshees back here. They will be taking out that one queen. These roaches coming up here saying, hey, I want to do something, but the Banshees, not liking the fact that the Spine Crawlers are there, will be coming back here, taking those free kills, not wanting to sustain any damage, trying to avoid it at all possible. We do actually see one Banshee going down as the 2 queens are here, backed up by that Hydralisk. And we see one of these Banshees is not in a good position. We do see Transfusion going down on that queen. Once again, these queens doing a good job of keeping each other alive. Actually, it's Lalush, but hey, we'll just blame it on the queens either way. And I kind of wish that we would see a... oh, yes! We do actually see Vikings coming on here, so they will be able to pick off these Overlords, as these outlying Overlords will be falling to those missiles relatively soon. It's always very enjoyable as a Terran player, or any player period, catching those Overlords out in the middle because they're so slow. And you're like, ha 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 ha, I'm going to freaking kick your ass. And that's what we are hopefully going to be seeing coming from GoOdy. And I'm not biased towards GoOdy, it's just that I like shooting down Overlords, because who doesn't? It's basically like duck hunting if the ducks were asleep. Yeah, pretty much. Either way, we do have the Banshees coming back here, engaging that Spore Crawler for half a second. We do see a little micro coming on there, as there are enough Banshees to actually one-shot the Hydralisk now, as they only do have 80 HP, and the Backlash Rockets do 12 before armor. So, yes, they will be able to dispatch those Hydralisks very quickly, although that doesn't actually add up, because there's 5 there, so it's 60 damage before armor. Did I go insane? Yeah, they do have 80. Okay, well, either way, able to two-shot them. How about that? So they're able to dispatch those guys relatively quickly. However, these Banshees we are going to see one Banshee fall. However, there are not that many. We did see a Transfusion going down on that Hydralisk, so nice micro, but it doesn't look like it was in time for it to actually go down and do anything. So we do see a couple pot shots going off on those drones. Those drones just withering underneath that backlash fire, as 2 of those Banshees will be... Okay, let me just do the math real quick. Yes, 40... Oh, wait, duh. Holy crap, I cannot believe it. It's 2 Backlash Rockets go down at one time. So, yeah, a little lame brain thought there. Guys, I didn't get much sleep last night, and I just went through a crappy day of school. So, not all here, so you got to bear with me here. I promise you I'll get it right in the end. So right now, let's go and take a look at the units tab. We have 5 Vikings, we have 4 Banshees, a Thor, and 14 Marines will be going up against 10 Hydralisks, 1 Infestor, 2 Roaches, and 2 Queens. So right now, we're seeing GoOdy going off of the 1 base. He has a superior army, but the income tab not looking so great for GoOdy. He's not too far behind, considering Lalush has two bases, but GoOdy's been doing a good job of keeping the drone count down for Lalush, as those... Let's go and take a look at this. These Banshees have... Well, at least they used to have a lot of kills. The ones that weren't shot down, or that were shot down, were probably the ones that had the bulk of the kills, but we saw a lot of drones go down there too. Let's take a look at the loss tab. It's actually, yeah, look at that. 2,300 loss for GoOdy or I'm sorry, GoOdy's done 2,300 minerals worth of damage, use your words, to Lalush. So GoOdy doing a great job of using those Banshees in a harassing fashion. Lalush having to be at 5 places at once, not able to field a defense appropriately until he got those Spore Crawlers down. But not only do we have the straightforward economic damage that we saw on Lalush's units, but think about the economic damage as well, as those drones would have been mining constantly right now. So just a little bit to chew on, is killing a drone doesn't do just 50 damage. It also does the damage that they would the lifetime of harvesting unmolested. So right now we do have GoOdy kind of probing, looking around for any sort of morsel of overlords, just kind of hoping to catch one out in the open. And we do have Lalush coming here, killing that first line of rocks, but this tank from GoOdy will be more than happy to rain hail down on those units if it gets close enough. So, seeing that defense, we will actually have Lalush's forces moving out here. This one Banshee was taking on that Ultralisk, the Hydralisk. Ultralisk, that's not an Ultralisk. But the Fungal Growth did go down on those on that Banshee, and the Hydralisk were more than happy to knock it down out of the air. Fungal Growth being so effective against mobile units because it locks them down in place, enforcing, basically you strip them of the ability to manipulate the battlefield and put themselves in an advantageous spot, whereas you're able to manipulate and they are not. So GoOdy putting up a bunker here. One warning shot went off by that siege tank. That siege tank having 13 range at the moment because of the Viking up here. They do get the +1 range when you have air units in the vicinity. So we do actually have the forces of Lalush kind of retreating back here. He has taken that second expansion. Looks like he's going to be going for the high yield minerals. Meanwhile, GoOdy does have his natural fully populated right there. He does not actually